Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday. It is weigh-in and weight loss topic day. I am a lifetime member of WW, even though I don't follow the plan anymore, but I still get all of the app and everything. So I use WW's weekly topic and I put my take on it. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, is how to get excited again about your go-to foods. But first, let's talk about weigh-in. I honestly wasn't sure what the scale was going to show. I know I had a good week. Excuse me. But you know, we have some stress in our life right now. You know that. And then we had a little more stress Thursday night with Andrew and the car accident. If you don't know about that, go check out my weekend vlog. So I just wasn't sure. And like I said before, we have a lot of people who are bringing us food and treats and things. And I'm very good about passing a lot of them along or, you know, not indulging. But I did indulge a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Nope. And we went out to dinner with our best friends on Saturday night. It was our double date night. And I indulged a little bit, but it just proves that one meal or one treat is not going to derail you, because I am down 0.2. So I will take that. Now, last week I was up 0.6, so I'm not quite back even, but let me tell you, after the week we've had, I'll take it. And I think this week should be a pretty decent week. Tonight, I am not cooking dinner. We have someone bringing us dinner tonight. Pretty much on all the chemo days, we have people bringing us dinners, which just so kind, so kind. And it, you know, at first I protested, but let me tell you, it was nice that first chemo coming home and and just kind of decompressing, and it was a long day and it was nice. But anyway, it's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about how to get excited again about your go-to foods. We all have go-to foods. Whether we are on a weight loss journey or not, we have go-to foods. Everyone's are different, and that's okay. Just because, you've heard me say a million times, just because Sally down the street is eating something doesn't mean you have to. You have to work whatever program you are on the way you want to do it, whatever works for you. So let's see and let me tell you, don't be afraid to change. My go-to foods have changed. Pretty much did a 360, so that's okay too. Let's see what they have to say about it. Picture the foods you're always reaching for. Fresh fruit and yogurt, juicy roasted chicken, crunchy popcorn. Dig into why and how they earned MVP status to unlock their full potential. Okay, I love that they're so positive that people are always reaching for fruit and yogurt and chicken and not potato chips and pretzels and cupcakes and cookies. And honestly, sometimes we do reach for those foods and sometimes it's okay. But we can't do it often. We have to reach for the good stuff. Now, I know for me, I love grapes. I love grapes, but they have to be good grapes. They have to be sweet and they have to be really, really hard and crunchy. And when I bring them home, I wash them, put them in an open bowl in the fridge, and man, my hand goes in there a lot. So does Doug's and so does Andrew's. So yeah, but that's good. It's better than reaching for potato chips or cookies. At least it is in my world. Trying to think what else is my go-to. Popcorn is definitely my go-to. I'm not a big snacker though, but I will snack on a handful of grapes. I do like chopped up, cut up veggies if I do need a snack, but For the most part, I just like them as a side dish. But anyway, let's get to this. It says, number 1, think about the new foods you started eating on your weight loss plan. Old favorites reimagined with a healthier spin, and once minor players promoted to starting roles all count. So, in the beginning of my journey, I did what a lot of people do. I switched out everything to fat-free, light, sugar-free, lots of hacks, things like that. And then I realized that it wasn't sustainable for me. I started diving more into nutrition versus weight loss. I started diving more into what are these light, fat-free, sugar-free foods, what are they made up of, and what is it doing to me? And that's when we started switching things around a little bit. So, but I still put a healthier spin on recipes. In the beginning, my healthier spin would have been, if a recipe called for 4 tablespoons of butter, I would have used a 1/4 cup of light butter. Now, my healthier spin is if a recipe calls for 4 tablespoons of butter, I'll use 2. I am back to using all the real ingredients. I'm just using less because so many times we do not need, I think Mississippi pot roast, I think it calls for a whole stick of butter on the top of the roast, if I'm not mistaken. And I get why you use it because it definitely does give it a creamy, fuller flavor texture, but I use 2 tablespoons. I don't use a whole stick. So I am still making swaps, healthier swaps, just a little bit different. So look for whatever way you choose to do your journey and you choose to eat. No judgment from me. Look for the healthier swaps. If you choose to use the fat-free and the sugar-free things, then of course substitute those. If you choose to go more of a whole foods based diet without all of the additives, then just try to reduce the amount of honey or sugar, reduce the amount of butter or fat, increase the amount of vegetables. If a recipe you're making calls for 2 cups of broccoli, put in 3 or 4, things like that. Make the best swaps you can make for the plan that you choose to follow. And let me tell you, it'll get to the point where you don't even realize it. If you watch my channel, we have switched to pretty much everything from scratch. And at first it was a little hard, I'm not gonna lie to you, because from scratch foods are not going to taste like grocery store foods. I make my own ranch dressing. I make my own ranch mix, and I make it into dip and dressing. Does it taste like Hidden Valley? No, it doesn't, because there's no MSG in it. There's no phosphates in it. There's no massive amounts of sodium in it. But we got used to it as time went on. I'm trying to think of something else. Mayonnaise. Homemade mayonnaise doesn't necessarily taste like Hellmann's. Actually tastes better. But it was also training our palates to get away from all the additives. We don't really buy crackers much. I do buy them at Christmas time when I do a lot of charcuterie boards, but we make crackers. Do they taste exactly like store-bought? No, once again, because there's only 4 ingredients in them. But your palate will get used to it. So I say that, but that's with anything. If you choose to go a fat-free or sugar-free route, it's not going to taste the same, but your palate will get used to it. If you choose to go a whole foods route, it's not going to taste the same, but your palate will get used to it. So however you plan on doing it, just remember those swaps may not be exact, but you will get used to it and you might like them actually better. I know that's what happened for us. So think about those foods and think about how you can swap them out to make them just a bit more fitting for your plan. And then it says, list your top 3 to 5 go-tos and then explore why they made the cut. It says to go beyond taste. Consider how they make you feel, the convenience factor, the points value, the price, and everything. So I'm trying to think if I really have any go-to foods. Like I said, grapes. I like the grapes that are nice and crunchy because it gives me that crunch. So I'm not reaching for a potato chip. Now I know grapes and potato chips are totally different. And don't get me wrong, I love a good potato chip sometimes, like, with a burger or with a sandwich. Once in a while. I'm not having chips every day. I'm not having, but sometimes you just need that crunch, and a good hard crunchy grape will do it. Same with vegetables. Sometimes it's not the taste or what it exactly is. It's just the texture and the mouthfeel of it. I'm not saying it works all the time because it certainly doesn't, but give it a try. Give it a try. Instead of the crunchy potato chip, go for the crunchy carrot stick and just see if it was just that crunch you needed, not necessarily the taste of the chip. Now, if it was the taste of the chip, nothing's going to change that. Just choose your best version. And for us, that is Boulder Canyon chips. Love those things. Hoping they have them at Costco because they're hit and miss. And then it says, how they make you feel. If you're reaching for the grapes or the crunchy vegetables or, gosh, I'm trying to think what else. An apple or an orange over the chips or the cookies or the Cheez-Its or whatever other thing, it's going to make you feel good because you feel like you've made a better choice. You've made a good choice. There's always time for those snacks. It's just not all the time, and it's just not every day. So remind yourself of that. Know how good you felt that you won over the food. You beat the food. Feel good about it. And use that feeling to carry you on to the next decision you have to make about food. And it says convenience factor. I have a problem with nuts. And I still haven't learned. And I still buy the big old thing at Aldi or Costco. And I'm probably going to buy it today. But I'm using it as a learning tool. I'm trying to use that big thing of nuts as a, Joni, you don't need them right now. Joni, you don't need them right now. I am. Now, convenience factor, would it be better for me to buy the individual single serve bags of nuts? 100%. Because with me, I will eat one serving size if it's prepackaged, and I won't go back for a second. But my hand will keep going in the nut jar. Yes. And I know what I should do. Sorry about keep sipping my tea. This is my first cup of the day. I know what I should do, but I'm not going to because my plan is to win over the nuts. I want to get to a point where I can just do a single serving of nuts out of that big can. So far, I'm not doing too bad. Not perfect, but I'm not doing too bad. So for convenience, yes, those little packs will be easy. I wouldn't have to put them in a separate container to put them in a lunch. I wouldn't have to put them in a separate bowl to have them, as part of my day. But if that's what you need, do it. Go for those convenience items. You might like to chop, you're making dinner and you need chopped up celery and carrots and, you need that mirepoix mix, the celery, the carrots, the onions. You just don't have time or the desire to do it. You can buy them generally in most grocery stores in the produce section already chopped up for you. That's a convenience food and it's going to make you use it and make that healthier dinner. Sometimes you can get them off the salad bar. So look for those healthy convenience foods also. Look for the pre-chopped vegetables. Look for, if you like to have vegetables, look for the carrot sticks. Look for the celery sticks that are already made. No shame in that game, my friends. No shame in that game. Another thing they say is points or calories value. That's kind of self-explanatory. And price. It's going to cost you more to buy the prepackaged stuff. It's definitely going to. But sometimes, in the end, you might have to spend a little more if it's going to help you stay on plan. And another thing about the price point. Try using generic products. Just check the label, see if they're exactly the same as the name brand product you like. I'm all about the generics. I shop at Aldi, but there's certain things I will never ever give up. Scott toilet paper is one of them. Original Scott toilet paper, that's all that's coming in this house. Yep, and I'll pay the price for it. But when I need to buy yogurt, I mean, generally I just make my own, but when I need to buy it, I have no problem with Great Value Walmart brand. So, look for things that maybe you think, well, I'm going to spend a little bit more money on this, but I can make it up by buying this. So take all that into consideration. And they say, number 3, reflect on how to work those go-to foods into your meals. Are you intentional about it or on autopilot? And how does that happen? So what are those go-tos? First, you figure out what they are. Maybe your go-to is chicken. Eat a lot of chicken dishes. Work them in. There are millions of chicken dishes, recipes on the internet, in books, wherever. There's millions of them. Work them in that way. Maybe your go-to food is Greek yogurt. Put it in with your lunch. Put it in with your breakfast. Like, I know Doug pretty much every day, I pack him his breakfast and his lunch to take to work. And pretty much every day I also pack him about half a cup, 2/3 of a cup of yogurt. It's the yogurt I make here, with a little bit of granola and a little bit of raw honey generally on it. And that's a go-to food for him. It keeps him full, it keeps him satiated, and it gives him extra protein. I'm intentional about it, It just becomes habit. I don't love the yogurt as much as he does, but I will eat it. I will put it, if my picky plate is looking a little bit sad and looking a little bit lacking in protein or dairy, I'll add a half a cup to my picky plate for lunch, if on days I eat lunch. If I'm getting a little peckish but don't want a full lunch, I'll have a little bit of yogurt. I'll add a little bit of yogurt sometimes to my ranch dressing and dip instead of all mayonnaise and sour cream. I'll replace some of those with the yogurt just to up the protein a little bit. So be intentional about how you use those go-to foods. Like I said, popcorn was one of my go-to foods when I want to late night snack. I have a bad habit, and it is a habit, that on Wednesday nights when I watch Survivor, I need popcorn. I know it's a habit. I know I don't need that popcorn, but it's just kind of what I do. And you know what? I'm okay with it. I struggled with it for a while, but I'm okay with it now. So I know on Wednesday nights during Survivor, I'm going to want popcorn. So I'm intentional about not having it any other time because I don't need a snack. I eat good foods, good dinners that keep me full and satiated. I don't need that snack. But I like it on my Wednesday nights. So become intentional about it. Because once you become intentional about it, it will become autopilot. Adding those extra veggies into your dinner. Maybe not just serving a meat, a veg, and a starch. Maybe serving a meat and 2 veg and no starch. Or maybe serving a meat, 2 veg, and a starch. Or maybe going meatless. I know my friend Judy, she does meatless Mondays and she's been doing it for years. Something like that may help. When you become intentional, it becomes habit. It becomes autopilot. So start becoming intentional about the swaps you want to make, the things you want to incorporate. And then it says, decide on a new or exciting way you'll keep enjoying these foods. It says, name a day each week to eat one of them. And it says, for example, if you like burgers, make it Burger Tuesday. If you like tacos, hello, Taco Tuesday. Make it intentional about when you want to eat them. Or the next thing, and I was just going to say this, try a new recipe using that go-to food. If your go-to food is chicken, like I said, there's a bazillion recipes. Try a new chicken recipe. If your go-to food is Greek yogurt, maybe mix it up a little bit. Maybe instead of just having plain Greek yogurt all the time, drizzle some honey in it. Throw some granola on top. Put some jam in it. That's like my favorite way to sweeten Greek yogurt. And I'm not going to lie, I have to sweeten my Greek yogurt. I just don't like it plain. I take a tablespoon of my homemade jam and put it in there, and I love it. And then whatever flavor jam I use, I'll throw a handful of the fresh fruit. If I'm using blueberry jam, I'll throw a handful of blueberries in there and skip the granola. So you can definitely change the way you use those go-to foods to keep them new and exciting. Because let me tell you something, my friends, if you're going to eat boiled chicken and steamed vegetables every day, you're not going to last. You're not going to last. I am a sauce girl. I need sauce. I need gravy. I love sauce and gravy. I found a way to incorporate all that in through different recipes. And you know, I only need a tablespoon or two of the sauce or gravy generally to satisfy me. And that's what it's all about. When you are satisfied with your meal, when you are satiated, you're not going to start looking for something else. I know on nights that I am not satisfied and satiated, it seems like 15 minutes after dinner, I'm rooting through the cabinet to look for a handful of nuts. So do what you need to do to make you satiated and satisfied with your go-to foods and within your plan. Trust me, you can do it. And then it says to create a special meal using it. You know, maybe instead of just slapping that chicken breast in a dish in the oven, maybe make a special little sauce. Maybe marinate it before you do it. Maybe elevate it by putting it in a stir fry or something like that. Find different ways to use it to make it a little bit more special. Because then you'll feel a little bit more special. You'll enjoy it a little bit more and you'll do well with it. So it says, let's dive a little deeper. It's okay if you don't give your favorite healthy foods much thought beyond, that's good. But it's worth taking time to fully recognize the role that your go-to breakfast burrito or yogurt parfait plays on your journey and understand why it works for you. Doing so upgrades it from just a burrito to a valuable success-driving tool. And that's major. First, the awareness shakes up an otherwise ho-hum or autopilot eating routine. Plus, connecting food choices to your progress helps you stick with healthy favorites. It also increases your confidence to make more positive changes and try more new foods. So definitely, I have my go-tos. You've seen my menus. We have oatmeal one day. We have a breakfast sandwich another day. We have omelets on Saturdays. We throw pancakes in there. We have our go-tos. There are go-tos because number one, we enjoy them. Number two, they fit into our lifestyle. And number three, well, we can just do them because I don't have to think about making a breakfast sandwich. I could do it in my sleep. I don't have to think about making oatmeal. I can do it in my sleep. So there are reasons we have these go-to foods. Your reasons and my reasons may be completely different, but that's okay. We have reasons. It says one of the best things about making your weight loss plan a lifestyle is that you can continue eating your favorite foods and still lose weight. Now, can you eat them in excess quantity? No. Can you eat those favorite foods every single solitary day, 3 times a day? Probably not. Because I'm going to be honest with you. When I make popcorn on Wednesday nights, I melt a tablespoon of butter, real butter, and drizzle it all over that popcorn. Could I do that every single day? Maybe. Do I want to? No. And why? Because it doesn't become special anymore. It doesn't have that specialness to it. We're going to talk about that really quickly because I'm already at 20 minutes. So find those low-cal, low-point favorites that you picked up when you learned to work the program. Dig into them and see how much harder they can work for you. Take that low-cal, 0-point food and build on it. Make it exciting. Make it interesting. So 3 fast facts. Enjoying what you eat makes you more likely to maintain healthy eating patterns long term. Number 2, identifying why you enjoy certain foods helps you understand why they work so well for you so you can continue to lean on them and find new favorites. And number 3, creating a plan for how you'll incorporate those foods you love makes it more likely that you'll follow through. So I just want to touch on the one thing I said about keeping foods special. If you have a special food, a special treat, something that makes your plan, following your plan easier, then by all means, keep at it. But keep it special. Like every once in a while, when I just get a craving for a dessert and want something that's low calorie, low point, I make a chocolate mug cake. The recipe is on my website. It was 2 points when I would use monk fruit as a sweetener. It's gone up because I use real sugar, but it's still so much better than, like, you know, driving through and getting a donut at Dunkin'. But I would only eat that on nights when I just really, really had to have something, or if everybody else was having a different kind of dessert and I didn't want something so high in calorie, I would make myself that. But I kept it special. It's not every day that I eat it. It's rare, actually, that I eat it. But because of that, it's special and it satisfies and I enjoy it. If I was eating that every single day, it wouldn't be special anymore and it would become routine. And then I would probably eat it and then look for something else because that specialness was gone. And you want that special treat, but that chocolate cake is no longer a special treat because it's just part of your daily. So if you have something like that, whether it be a candy bar, whether it be a candy-like protein bar, whether it be, I don't know, whatever, a WW snack or something like that. If you have something like that, that satisfies that need for sweet or crunch or savory, keep it special. Don't eat it every day. Because I guarantee when you start eating it every day, it's going to become so complacent that you're going to start looking for something else. And then you're going to start overeating. So just be mindful of that. You know, if you allow yourself some potato chips with a sandwich, don't eat those chips every day because they're going to stop satisfying you. Save them for, well, you know, I love chips when I have a tuna sandwich. So have those chips when you have a tuna sandwich. Kind of bargain with yourself and make good choices about that. So I just wanted to reiterate that because that's something I used to bang on all the time about keeping food special. And I haven't talked about it in a while. So anyway, that is it. That is the weight loss topic and my weigh in. I am down 0.2 for the week. And now I got to go because I got to get lunches packed and we have to get out of here. Today is chemo treatment number 2 for Mr. Doug. So we got to get our lunches packed and get ready to get out the door. So thank you, my friends, for watching this. I hope it helped you just a little bit. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love you to hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment on this video. Give it a thumbs up. All those things let YouTube know that you're interested in my videos. And then that way they put them out there a little bit more and it can help my channel grow, which is one of my goals for this year, is to help my channel grow just a little bit. And also, if you know someone who can benefit from any of this info, please feel free to share it. So thank you so much. I'll leave a couple old meeting topics linked right here in case you haven't seen those. And that is it. I will hopefully be back on Thursday with a spend the day with us. So have a good one, my friends. Take care, and I will see you all soon.